Is Instagram still the best place for you to grow your business? Well, we've been talking a lot about Instagram in my last couple episodes, but I really want to dig a little bit deeper and see if where you should be building is going to bring you long-term success. Yes, I love Instagram, but you should not put all of your eggs in that basket. And we're going to talk to you about the baskets that you should be carrying around in this episode. Hello, my friends. I am so grateful that you're here and you're listening to this episode of the Business Mom School. I'm Michelle Gifford, and I'm a brand and marketing strategist. I run a marketing agency. I help women and businesses just like you grow and become successful and profitable. And I'm glad that you're here. So if you're not a part of Business Mom School, it's time to join because it is free, number one. And number two, it's going to grow your business. And to join Business Mom School, all you have to do is text BMS to 951 097-885. And when you do that, you're going to be subscribed to 2 emails a week. The first email is going to be your business training for that week and homework. So if you do this, it's going to grow your business. And number two, you're going to get my marketing update emails with any trending audios or any changes in updates on social media or across the board, Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest, all the places. We keep a tab on those so that you don't have to, and it's free. So click the link below to join, and then make sure you're subscribed so that you get this episode every time it drops. So today we're talking about, is there life beyond Instagram? If you haven't noticed, there's been some shifts in Instagram over the last couple of years. I mean, I'm sure you've noticed. And with those changes, it's become harder and harder for creators to be seen organically. The reason why this shift is happening is because the goal of Instagram has changed. And this should not surprise us. This is what happens with all social media platforms. I mean, the ones that we know, right? Especially Facebook, where it is a free app and it gets everyone on there, right? That's the goal at the beginning, is to get as many people on to make it as mainstream as possible. And once it's there and people are on, and then they start selling ads and they start selling our attention. So that means that the social media platforms goals have changed from being hey, let's get everyone on the app. We're just going to make this all for the users, and we're going to make it really easy for businesses to get on, because we know if businesses are motivated to create, then the app is going to grow. So that's what it used to be. And now it's shifted to where Instagram's goal is to make money with ads. It's not going to organically show your content as much anymore. And that's why a while ago we talked about TikTok and why it's a good time to get on right now, because it's a new part of the app, right? They haven't been on as long as everyone else. And so because of that, it's still trying to get it to be more mainstream, and it is. But you're going to see over the next few years, it shifts to be more, its goal is ads. And so it's going to be harder to grow. And that's why you jump on social media platforms early so that you can get on that wave, right? The first wave of, hey, here we are, it's growing, I'm growing, and I don't have to pay for ads. And so we see the shift on Instagram happening. And because of that, we have to continually create content. So people are constantly creating, because Instagram values recency over a lot of things. And that can feel super overwhelming, especially when your full-time job is not a content creator. You're a mom and you have a business. And so you're fulfilling orders, you're shipping, you're creating new products, you're working with customers, you're providing your service, whatever it is. So then when it comes to social media, you're like, oof. Well, that's a lot. And you're trying to figure out how to reconcile it all, because you know you want to be there and you know that you need to be there to connect with your audience, but you also know that you're feeling burnt out by it all. So that's why we've been talking the last few weeks about how to grow right now, because how you grow right now is different than how you grew in 2020. It just is. And so I want you to have a good strategy for social media, because I use social media every day. I love it. I think it's a really great connecting piece and top of funnel piece. And it's also a way that people can really connect with you personally. I mean, stories is, I think, one of the most undervalued parts of business right now, Instagram stories, because of what a connection you can build on Instagram stories. That's why we talked about it, because I want you to have a social media strategy. And then I want you to also be building what we're going to be talking about today, is this long-term strategy. As we're building our business, we need to understand a couple of things. Number one is that search engines are going to become more and more a part of our business. I mean, SEO, search engine optimization, has been a part of business for a very long time, but now it's moving to Instagram and TikTok and Facebook, right? We're seeing the SEO game come not just on blogs and YouTube and Pinterest, but now it's coming to our social media. And so we need to start creating more for the search engine. That's the first thing, okay? Create create more for the search engine. And it's such a fascinating thing, I think, because when you create content for TikTok, you're not creating content for people who actually know you. Most of the people who see your TikToks don't follow you. They're new people. That's actually the beauty of TikTok. And it's also the detriment, right? Because you don't get that connection that Instagram provides. But TikTok, you're creating for someone who is searching for the type of content you create. Like every new video is you have to reintroduce yourself because your TikTok followers don't necessarily know who you are. They were just given a video from someone new. So, we have these SEO things happening. And so we need to create more for SEO. Well, social media like TikTok and Instagram is short-term content. It doesn't last very long. Sometimes it can last a couple days on Instagram and sometimes a couple weeks on TikTok. We need to make sure that we are getting our content on some long-term search engines. So what are those 3 long-term search engines? YouTube, Pinterest, and Google. So we hit Google with our blog, okay? We create blog content. So I try to hit as many of these search engines as possible. I used to not be on YouTube. I have now converted to YouTube because I see such power in it. A couple years ago, I created like 2 or 3 videos on how to create reels when they first came out. And I have gotten like tens of thousands of views on it. And it is now the thing that is driving my growth from something I created 2 years ago. That's insane. And I can make money from it because of ads on YouTube. And so it's really important to start thinking about that. If you invest in creating this piece of content now, is it a piece of content that can last long term, that can help me grow my business? Because you're not going to want to be hustling for the rest of your life, right? Your kids are going to get older. You're going to get more involved in sports, and your life and your business become more complex. And so you're not going to be able to be in this hustle zone your whole life or your whole business. You're going to burn out. And so that's why I recommend having a long-term traffic source, a long-term search engine. And so if I were starting over, I would do YouTube. I would turn that YouTube video into a podcast and a blog post. And then from that blog post, I would get it on Pinterest, and then I would create an email list with my content. I mean, you can see this in real time in the things that I'm doing. Now, I have a podcast and I love podcasting, and I really built a really great community there. But right now, podcasting does not have the same search engine strength that YouTube does. And so I added YouTube this year to my content strategy because of that. Now, I think that there are some very valuable things that podcasting does. Like it does build a community. It's very personal. It's where my audience currently is. It's also a way for me to connect with people through interviews and to collaborate and those kind of things. So I still think podcasting is really valuable. That's why I do it. But I'm also saying that investing in YouTube is huge. And if I do that, YouTube videos are a lot easier to take and cut down and make into snippets for Instagram, right? Or TikTok. I can take my YouTube content, cut it down, and repurpose it for social media. So if I were starting over again, I would choose one piece of, at least one minimum piece of core content that I would create once a week at minimum. Right now I'm doing 2 or 3 times a week, but know that I have a team. I didn't start out with a team, and that's why I started out with blogging only. I blogged first. Now I have a team and they help me recreate all my content. But I would start out with one piece of long-term piece of content. I would say YouTube is where I'd start if you can. And I know you're scared of video, do it anyway. The more you do it, the easier it gets. And then I would turn that YouTube video into a blog post. Now, the great thing about this is that when I started, editing my podcast was like hours and hours of my time. Now there's a new program called Descript, and it transcribes your podcast or YouTube videos in minutes, and you can edit it like a Word document. It makes editing your podcast and your YouTube videos so easy. And now I can take that transcript and I can put it into a blog post, and I can take parts out for an Instagram carousel. I can take snippets of video out for reels on Instagram and TikTok. And so suddenly I'm creating this one piece of content that is able to fuel my whole content marketing machine for the whole week. Instead of showing up on Instagram and stressing out, what do I post today? What's going to go viral? Whatever. Definitely invest in these kind of products that just buy back hours and hours of your time. I just have been in this business long enough to see this happen over and over again with people, that they invest all of their time in Instagram. And, it brings immediate results. And that's why it's so great. That's why I love social media, right? Is because I can connect, and it's also like, hey, buy now. And I actually can have my people in my stories actually buy now. And I've seen really prominent people build a business off of social media. And I think that's awesome. But the truth of the matter is that if you have to show up every day on social media, then that is a job. If you have to show up to sell things, that's a job. And most of my influencers do have to show up in stories to sell their products, right? But if you create a blog post that people can search for on Pinterest and on Google and they find that, then they can come to your site and you can make money through ads. You can make money if there's affiliate links in there, or you can send people to your email list, which will lead to people buying your product. And you can do that when you sleep. You don't have to be there. You don't have to show up. And so it's a really valuable way for you to build this income stream that is coming to you on a regular basis. Now, I'm not going to tell you that this is fast. I'm also not going to tell you that this is easy. Frankly, it's not. I did a podcast episode with Kristen from Six Sisters, and she's like, you have to commit to 2 years for this to work. And with blogging, you're not going to see consistent traffic for at minimum 6 months. And that's with like 2 blog posts a week. And so I'm not saying this is easy, but I am telling you that it is worth the investment. If you think about all the time you're spending on Instagram and social media and what kind of traction are you getting? And yeah, it's immediate gratification, right? And I love it. I actually wish I didn't love it so much. But if you took some time and set aside time to create this long-term content, then you are putting money in the bank. So I have blog posts that are making my money from years ago. It's just how it is. So as part of my agency, that's something that we do because I know it's really hard to create all of this content all the time. And so we take whatever piece of content you create, whether that's Instagram or whether that's a blog post or whether that's a YouTube video, whether that's a podcast, and we take it and we'll stretch it across all of the places that you need to be. So we do YouTube, we do blogging, we do Pinterest, we do email marketing, we do TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. We do it everywhere because I don't believe in one platform is going to be the game changer for you. You need variety in your strategy. I want you to do this. I'm serious about this. I know you hear me say this and you're like, yeah, Michelle, but I want you to really get serious about this. If you haven't joined Moneymakers, it's my coaching group. And I have a blogging course, an email marketing, a Pinterest course. I have an Instagram, a content course that shows you how to really stretch that content. I have all of these courses within Moneymakers. You get it for the price of one course. It's $347 for the whole year, and you get all of the courses as well as twice a month coaching from me and a community who totally gets it and is there for you to support you. And it is only open right now. So if you have not joined Moneymakers, now is the time. Go to IamMichelleGifford.com/moneymakers or click the link below. This only opens twice a year. So if you miss the window, get on the list so that you can be ready to go next time, because this is a game changer. I mean, I just talked to women who have told me that they have doubled their income and doubled their following because of Moneymakers, and that they are now consistently making sales every day from their Etsy shop because they're a part of Moneymakers. And it's because I teach this strategy and actually how to do it. I don't believe in showing up and creating content just to create content. I believe in showing up with a strategy so that you don't waste any effort or any time or any money, because you're a mom, you're busy, you do not have time to waste. So I highly recommend Moneymakers. I created it for past Michelle. I wish I had this when I was starting. That's actually why I created it, because this is information I wish I'd had that would have put me years ahead of where I am now. So I want you to think about your business, and I want you to think, how can I make this a long-term business? Where am I willing to invest? Where am I willing to show up? Because that is going to make all the difference in the world. Just deciding, I am going to figure out blogging. And I'm just going to tell you, your first blog post, your first YouTube video, your first podcast is going to be super painful. It's also maybe going to be your worst one you've ever done. And it's also going to take you a super long time. That's just how it is, because you've never done it before. But the more you do it, the easier it gets, and the faster it gets, and the more efficient it gets, and the better it gets. You can't get better until you start. So I want you to choose one place that you're willing to show up once or twice a week. And I want you to commit to it. And then I want you to get the strategy behind it. Don't just go start blogging if you don't know how to start blogging. Join Moneymakers or take my blogging course. Okay. So you know everything that you need to start blogging. And then I want you to start using Pinterest so that you can get all the benefits from all the search engines around. And then start your email list. Listen, emails are where you own. It's a place that you own. Like, nothing makes my heart warmer than when a moneymaker messages me and says, I just got 3,000 subscribers on my email list. Like, that is so huge and such an accomplishment. And I want to help you get there. There are a lot of people preaching a lot about social media, and I am here for it. I love social media, but not enough of us are talking about the reality of what social media is doing to us and to our business. It is causing us to stay chained to that social media platform, to show up every 2 minutes, to check it all the time. And that is taking away from our business. It's taking away from our peace of mind. It's taking away from our health and from our kids and all of the things. And I want you to be really serious about running a business. I want you to be serious about showing up for the people that you are called to serve, right? And I want you to be serious about growing a business long term. So if you have questions about this, I would love to hear about it. I am here for your business. I would love for you to join Moneymakers because it is going to make all the difference to you and your business. And I'm so grateful you're here, and we will see you next time.